Good morning, students. Previous class in the respiration we have seen the process of respiration, means breakdown of the glucose molecule and everything. Now we will see what are the organs which take part in the exchange of gases. Exchange of gases means, first of all, during the respiration oxygen will be taken in and carbon dioxide will be given out. So that exchange, how it takes place, where it takes place, what are the organs of the body helps in exchange of the gases and utilization of the that oxygen, how it takes place. Utilization we have seen, and what are the organs where it takes place, and different kinds of organs, different methods of exchange of gases. Okay, suppose animals, different organisms have developed different structures for the exchange of gases, and from that environment, from the environment oxygen will be taken inside, and whatever CO2 is formed in the body during the process of oxidation, that has to be removed. That is the getting rid of the carbon dioxide. Okay, now there are two kinds of animals are there. One is the terrestrial animals and another is the animals which are living in the aquatic animals living in the water. Okay, terrestrial animals usually take in oxygen which is present in the atmosphere, and but the animals which live in the water, they have to take the oxygen which is present in the water. Actually, oxygen which is dissolved in the water is less than the availability is less than the oxygen which is more in the atmosphere. So the terrestrial animals get more oxygen from the atmosphere than the aquatic animals which live in the water, because dissolved oxygen percentage is less. Okay, this is a very important question also. I had given you in the copy also. Since the amount of dissolved oxygen is fairly low compared to the amount of oxygen in the air, the rate of breathing in aquatic animals is much faster than that of the terrestrial animals. This will be a question. Why? This will be a question. Why terrestrial animal, aquatic animals respiration are taking in faster than the terrestrial animals? This is NCERT point. That is why I have written separately. Because fishes, this is NCERT. Fishes take in water through their mouth and force it past the gills where the dissolved oxygen is taken up in the blood. So they have to take very fast. They have to open their mouth and close, and so that the water movement will be, whenever they are opening the mouth, fishes, the water movement will be there, and the water will go through their mouth and force it to pass to the gills. There exchange will take place. So how much fast it will open and close mouth, that much fast water will go, and through the gills it will pass, and more oxygen will be taken. This will be a reasoning point. Okay, now let us see exchange of gases in lower organisms. First of all, unicellular organisms, or lower means whatever classification you have studied in the 9th class, lower means all the invertebrates. So in the invertebrates also, first will come unicellular organisms. Say after that some of the tissue level organisms, then organ system levels. But all the invertebrates means organisms which are not having backbone. And not only that, some of the vertebrates also, how the mechanism is different till the lungs will come. Okay, so exchange of gases in lower organisms. First of all, first we will see unicellular organism, body surface respiration. Okay, in the body surface respiration means the whole body is exposed to. I'm just showing diagrams here and explanation I'll give. Notes I had given you. So this is, suppose lower organisms, first is the exchange of gases which will take place through the body surface. Oxygen from the surrounding water and CO2 of the body that will diffuse from the outside to inside. The arrows you can see, from the outside the oxygen is coming inside, and whatever the oxidized oxygen, carbon dioxide is there, that is going out. This example is one example here, amoeba. And notes I had given amoeba, paramecium, sponges in the sponges cycon. Amoeba is a protozoan, paramecium is a protozoan, and sponges coelentrates. And coelentrates, one more example, hydra. Okay, so these are directly exchanged. The body is inside the water, only one cell is there. Through this one cell, the total exchange of gases will take place. So outside the diffusion means depending upon the concentration gradient. From the outside the atmosphere, oxygen is more. Inside the body, oxygen is less. So oxygen is entering inside the body from the outside to inside. After that oxidation, compared to the outside environment, carbon dioxide inside the body is more, outside is less. So from the body it will go to outside. That is simple cell and lower organism, simple diffusion. Okay. And next coming to the exchange of gases in slightly higher organisms. Higher organisms, for example, maybe you heard one word particularly, cutaneous respiration. See, this only copy I had given very small points because NCERT not mentioned, but you need to learn. Okay, but for the board purpose, how much is there in the NCERT, that is enough. Cutaneous respiration. So cutaneous respiration means, what is the meaning of cutaneous? Means skin. The respiration which takes place with the help of skin. For example, when you touch some of the animals, suppose earthworm, if you touch the earthworm body is always moist and mucilaginous. What is the meaning of mucilaginous? It is very sticky material. So that mucilaginous material will not allow the water on the body surface, will not completely evaporate. So cutaneous respiration means respiration through skin. Example, earthworm. What will happen? Earthworm and amphibians also, some of the amphibian, exchange of gases occur through skin. The skin is kept moist by mucus secreted by glandular cell epidermis. Okay, this one, cutaneous respiration. Okay, skin respiration. Cutaneous is equal to skin. Example, earthworm. You remember three things only. Cutaneous respiration means respiration through skin, and the skin is moist with the mucilaginous material. Mucilaginous means sticky material. And example, earthworm. Next one is this one, gill respiration. Fishes, gill respiration. Okay, in the gill respiration, you know very well, example it will be the fishes and this one. Okay, crustaceans, prawn or cartilaginous fishes or bony fishes, or tadpole. Tadpole is the frog one stage of the amphibians. Respiration takes place with the help of gills. So water, whenever it moves, the water will move inside, and from the gills operculum will be near the operculum, water moves, and that water will be exchanged, oxygen will be exchanged inside the body. Okay, actually this gill respiration is called branchial respiration. Okay, gill respiration is also called branchial respiration. And the source is, what is the source for that oxygen? The source for this fish's oxygen is water. Okay, now coming to the tracheal respiration. Okay, tracheal, this is tracheal, insects. Tracheal respiration means insects. These are the trachea, and tubes like that will be there. Trachea, small tubes, small one, and bigger one. Okay, this was the big trachea. Just if you see slowly the trachea, that small tubes like that, slowly reaching to the evolution, reaching to the human. Human also has trachea and tubules and all. So this is the large trachea and the small tracheoles, and again they divided the tracheoles, and this is the muscle fiber. Okay, from here. So this is the tracheal respiration. All insects' respiratory organs highly branched. Respiratory organs of the insects are highly branched, divide. and into air tubes, and they are called the trachea. These trachea are connected to atmosphere, okay, connected to atmosphere by minute respiratory openings, and these are called spiracles. The openings which are called, they are called the outside holes like that, spiracles or stigmata. And don't worry, all these no need of by hearting. And animals goes directly into the body cells, so oxygen in these animals, oxygen directly through the, because all the holes are exposed through the body outside now, so from the outside the air will directly go into the through the tubes inside, okay, directly into the body cells. And blood has no role here. This is about insects. Here blood, no, directly oxygen is going inside and has no role in the transportation of the gases, blood. Suppose if you see any cockroach or anything, if you open and see a cockroach, you will never find any red color pigment or red color cockroaches, insects especially. So their blood has no red color pigment, that is hemoglobin. Their blood has white color pigment, and white color pigment will not carry the blood. Red color pigment, hemoglobin, that only carries. So these insects are not having red color pigment, so directly through the spiracles and through this one, and air will go inside and direct oxygen will be taken. So here the blood, colorless blood is called hemolymph. Notes if you have seen that underlined also, hemolymph. What is hemolymph? Colorless white color blood, colorless blood is called, and that is red color blood is called hemoglobin, that is iron containing, iron pigment. So terrestrial organisms use oxygen. Now coming to the directly terrestrial, means completely on the land, how they use the oxygen in the from the atmosphere for respiration, okay. Now oxygen is absorbed by different organs of different animals. Here also, and terrestrial also, different organs are there. All these organs have structures that increase the surface. So wherever these terrestrial organs are taking organs, now cells and tissues are over, that organ should have a large surface area to take the oxygen, and that organ also directly the structures has to contact with the oxygen rich atmosphere, okay. Since the exchange of O2 and CO2 has to take place across the surface area, surface membrane, any surface you take, one gas has to come inside, one gas has to go outside. So the areas should be more, so that more exchange will take place, and the surface is very fine and delicate. Suppose if the surface is very thick and very dense, then the exchange will not take place. So it should be very thin, and of course if it is very fine and thin and it is delicate, so if that delicate structure is there, it needs protection. It's just simply outside is there very delicate, it will rupture or it will be functionless like that. So what happens, so to protect the organs, surface areas for the exchange of gases or anything, they need to be protected, okay, and usually placed within the body, not outside the body, within the body. You can imagine your respiratory system where first of all inside the body, again one cage is there, rib cage, with the help of bones, so not to rupture, not to damage anything. Inside the bone rib cage it is there placed, okay. So in addition to this one movement of the gases, air and in and out, it is so if it is inside the body it is easily, but how it will go, if the structure is inside the body, how it will go inside the body? So some complete path should be there with different organs, some path should be there, so that the air will enter inside the delicate structures, okay. So now let us directly come to the human respiratory system. This one, human respiratory system. Just 1 minute. Okay. In the directly, this is important. Till now only half mark questions like that. From here now the main question, draw and explain human respiratory system structure. Function is different, how it is functioning is mechanism is different. This is the draw human respiratory system, draw and explain the structure, only structure. Okay, now human respiratory system, you know that perform, what does it do means it is the gaseous exchange respiratory system between the body and outside the environment, outside the environment and body inside this. Okay, so the respiratory system of human, what are the parts are there in the human respiratory system? First one, external nostrils. Okay, external nostrils. And second one, a nasal cavity, from the cavity from here to nasal cavity. Second is the internal nostrils. Lastly, from nose outside, from here to ear, internal nostrils. And next coming to the pharynx. Okay, here pharynx. And next coming to the larynx, down one, you can see here nasal passage, mouth cavity. Mouth cavity, we will not take air from the mouth, nasal passage. And next coming to the pharynx, and next coming to the larynx. Okay, after that tube pipe like structure, that is the trachea. Now how the trachea divides? Trachea again divide into two. Okay, again the divided, small fine, very fine tubules, that is the bronchioles, and they are entering into. So let us see one by one. So these are the structures: external nostrils, nasal cavity, external pharynx, larynx, trachea. So first of all, in human beings, air is taken the body through nostrils. You can imagine your nose, through nose, just nose, outside portion, inside the nasal cavity. Okay, so respiratory system of a human being, respiratory tract, lungs, respiratory organs. Okay, first one, external nostrils, as I told you, two large sized apertures present and lower end of the nose, and naturally nose lower end only two holes like that will be there, and above the mouth nasal chamber. Next one is the, these are the two long sized chambers from the nose holes to chambers, two chambers, large size chambers inside the nose. Okay, these are separated, both the nose chambers, both are separated with, here it is not possible to show, you can imagine your own nose, both the chambers, center one septum is there separating. Okay, separated from buccal cavity. Buccal cavity means oral, this one, by hard plate. In between the chambers one hard plate will be there, and that is supported by bones, while they are separated from each other by nasal septum. Bones is separate and septum is separating one. Okay, what do these do? They, first of all, in the nasal chamber, what will happen? Its lower hairy part, actually nasal chamber hairy part will be there. So what does the hairy part will do? The hairy part filters the air. Whatever air we take, the hair will filter first dust particles and all. Okay, and it will not, the hair will not allow any dust goes inside. Okay, so that will be sedimented there, because nose inside the mucus means sticky material, where air is entering inside, the dust particles will be attached to the mucus particle and they remain in the nasal chamber itself. Okay, that is about the dust particle. And that epithelium of the nasal, epithelium means covering layer, it has cilia. Cilia means small structures. They will also hold the, one is hair portion, and the ciliary portion also prevents the, actually ciliary portion secretes mucus material, and because of the mucus, the whatever dust is caught by the hair, and that will be sedimented to the mucus, which is released by the epithelial layer. Okay, secreting mucus layer, epithelial. And next one, middle part of the air conditioner and brings air by the body temperature. Actually outside temperature, body is a constant temperature. That air, whatever air it warm, when air is warm, what will happen? Definitely the particles that helps to the dust particles settle down. Upper part helps in the smelling and all. Next part is the glottis. Okay, that is cover like that here. Okay, so it glottis, it lies in pharynx. This is the pharynx, glottis. It is a cover like that, open close, open close. Whenever you eat food, that cover, epiglottis, upon that, epi means that will be covering, so that food particle will not fall in the air tubes. So during the swallowing of food, or bolus means round structures, and it will be closed by like a flap. So covering like a flap pharynx, it is called epiglottis. Your digestive system also will learn that. So it prevents the entry of the food. Okay, next coming to the trachea. So what is the trachea actually? That is called windpipe. Okay, it is long, narrow and tubular. Notes is there, only diagram purpose I am showing this only. Okay, next one, supported by, here you see trachea is not simple tube, rings like that. Because of these rings like that, it is supporting the, not to collapse. Straight pipe, it will collapse. Just you can observe in your house washing machines also, that outlet and all rings like that will be there. It's not a straight pipe. Straight pipe, if it is with rings, gives support. If it is only straight, it will not give support, easily collapsible. So this is the trachea. Okay, now ring like cartilage which prevents collapse. One mark, why I am explaining this much about the ring, why the trachea has rings, or how the trachea will not collapse, why the trachea will not collapse. So that is here. Okay, next coming to the primary bronchi, dividing. Okay, these are two small sized tubes formed by division. You see, this is coming and dividing both the sides. Okay, this trachea is dividing here, two tubes. So these are the primary bronchi, division of the trachea. Those each primary bronchi again enters into one primary bronchi is entering into one lung. Two lungs are there. Okay, so this will divide and this trachea will divide, and these are the two primary bronchi and they are entering into the lungs. Both are entering into one lung. And there are also these are also having the diagram, you can see rings, supporting rings. Now coming to the lungs. Okay, and there are how many? Two lungs will be there. They are soft, elastic and slightly pink color and spongy, and they are present in that very tight cavity, box like structure. Okay, that is cavity, that is chest. In this area, from here to here, this is the chest area. Inside the box like structure it is there, and on the one side heart will be here, and both will be there either side of the heart, back side heart. Okay, here heart actually in diagram 3-dimensional you cannot see. So both the sides, either side of this one will be there. So thoracic cavity is vertebral column and bones, back side vertebral column, front side rib cage, and center here above this one sternum bone will be there. Center bone will be there, bony case, sternum and bones will be there. And if you come down after the ribs and everything down, this one layer, actually here diaphragm, this is labeling should be given diaphragm. Okay, down one diaphragm will be there, and posterior diaphragm. What is that diaphragm? It is a muscular partition. Diaphragm is the muscular partition. It separates thoracic cavity from abdominal. Here abdomen, stomach will be there. So sometimes when you take air in and out, sometimes by always, when you take air in and out, movement of the stomach, because the diaphragm moving up and down, so the stomach also shows movement. Okay, and if you see again the structure of the lungs, they are the conical shaped lungs, and lobe, branches like. Okay, and each lung is covered. If you see this one, the lung is covered with a thin transparent one sac will be there, bag like structure. Okay, that is called pleura. Of course the structure, the description not that much is given, but lung is covered with a thin layer, that is pleura. Okay, again that is protected from mechanical injuries, means one layer, two layers, one layer, this is two layers, between the two layers. So suppose continuously lung is expand and normal, during that portion, because of friction it should not rupture. Okay, and it should not allow any this one damage or injuries or anything. Okay, so inside the lung, if you see, the primary bronchioles divide and divide like that, again small branches, so that makes a network like that. So this network is like a network dividing. The network is, if you see like this dividing, that you can see bronchial intercom, just like telecom, dividing network, that is bronchial intercom. Okay, the finest branch of this network, smallest one, is called bronchiole. Divide, and smallest tube like structure is called bronchiole. And again bronchiole enters into lung portion. This is tubular portion, this is lung. So this lung also small bags like that. So one bronchiole enters that. When it entering into the sac like structure, that is called alveoli. So okay, suppose if you see, this is here expanded one, respiratory, bronchiole, pharynx and all, it is finely dividing and bag like structure. Okay, bronchial intercom, bronchial structure, that structure is called, this is what, this is lung divided portion. Lung is like this, expanded one. So lung divided portion, this bag is called alveoli. What is that? Is bag is called alveoli. Okay, so that alveoli are the, so if you see this, each alveoli duct opens into alveolar sacs. A duct is opening into. So this portion I expanded this one. Duct entering into a sac like structure. This is the lung portion. This is the duct portion. This is the duct portion. This is the lung portion. Sac like structure. In each sac like structure, one tube is entering. That is called the alveoli duct. Okay, sac and duct. So alveolar lungs are sites. So these are the sites for the respiration. This alveoli sacs are the sites for respiration. What is the sites for respiration? This is the area where exchange of gases take place. This is here now. Here this bag like structure, whatever air is coming from here to here, total air enters into the lungs. Air contains all variety gases. What gas will be taken inside this one and what gas will be given from this duct to alveolar sac to inside the lungs, that is the mechanism of the respiration, breathing mechanism. Okay, structure you have learned. Next class we will see mechanism. Okay, and before that I will give notes. Thank you.